My name is Cesar Lopez. I'm the founder of Unified U.S. Deported Veterans, along with Alex Murillo. He's also on the call from Tijuana. After 8 years of advocacy for deported veterans, I have achieved limited success at all levels of government, local, state, and federal. Because of this fact, I decided to switch my legislative lobby efforts to concentrate on an executive order from the Commander-in-Chief of the military. We strongly believe this to be a military issue rather than an immigration issue. We feel that the best way to fix this injustice is to go up our chain of command to our president and ask him to sign the executive order drafted by Elizabeth Ritchie, an immigration attorney with 20 years experience from Rambana law offices in Florida. I know that an executive order is a temporary fix. That's why I am also asking Congress and the Senate to support our troops by asking President Biden to sign the executive order for immediate relief for our deported veterans, and also pass Congressman Chuy Garcia's bill, the New Way Forward for comprehensive immigration reform for everyone. The injustice perpetrated on our deported veterans does not end with our deportations. Our families suffer from the destruction of the family unit. Our children suffer from our absence and become more vulnerable to the pitfalls of our already vulnerable immigrant communities. Our parents and siblings continue with their lives with the guilt of not being able to assist their veteran family members. Our veterans are being punished by the very system of government that we swore to protect. We're being punished 3 times by our country. 1, by failing to assist veterans to integrate into civilian life with proper sources of assistance. 2, by deporting veterans right after they have served the full term of their sentences. And 3, denying deported veterans with benefits earned while in service to our nation. I managed to have a face-to-face with Joe Biden on May 9th on 2019 and Kamala Harris June 5th on 2019 in Las Vegas, Nevada, while filming the Netflix documentary Immigration Nation, where I publicly asked them if they elected, they will stop the deportation of veterans and repatriation with an executive order. They both agreed that they will stop the deportation of veterans and will sign an executive order to repatriate us. We're asking all our Congress representatives and senators to help us remind our president and vice president to fulfill their campaign commitment to repatriate our deported veterans. Cesar Lopez, USNC, Semper Fi, founder of Unified U.S. Deported Veterans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful to be here today. Thank you for sharing all your stories. And thank you, Robert, for emceeing this. I'm super honored to be able to join with all of you today. And I just want to just quickly flag that I'm from the Central Valley, California. My brother is a U.S. Army veteran that was also deported after he came back, from service, struggling with PTSD. So what we're doing here is really, as my colleague Liz mentioned, we're building a coalition of veteran and immigrant advocacy groups to fight against these entrenched systems that continue to incarcerate and deport our communities. So this Mural project is really a tool for political action and healing. And so let me just share my screen here. Most of the people depicted in this mural all come with deep ties to the communities. So they're still tied to the communities they were deported to. And so we're working with local organizers to reclaim these stories and really disrupt the erasure of deportation is really our goal. And so at the end of the day, we want to reroute these stories that belong to the folks that were deported in their hometowns. And we're calling on local organizers to take up space, really. And so the map on your screen shows where we're launching these murals. Most of our stories correspond, if you take a notice here, along the southwestern border. And those are really the clusters where our gente have intensely felt the impact of mass incarceration and deportation brought from the 90s crime bill, restrictive immigration policies in the 90s. And so we're really prioritizing the locations that will have the most impact and will allow us to make targeted noise directed at elected officials. So we're really asking for 2 actions, right? It's first, in support of the executive order to bring deported veterans home. And the second is the New Way Forward Act to really curb criminal systems and the deportation pipeline. And so the goal is to raise enough money to expand to all 50 states. And so the point of the mural, as my colleague Liz mentioned, is to make it harder for elected officials to look away. And so, in the US, immigrants make up 44 million of the population, and 13% of the veteran population are from immigrant families. And so many of the families did not move here, they were displaced. And so currently our murals are depicting over 11 nationalities in different countries. And for many of you, veterans are deported all over the world. And in this mural, we're representing veterans deported to Mexico, Central America, Costa Rica, India, Jamaica, Haiti, Kenya, the Philippines, and Dominican Republic. And the veterans that you will see in the murals are at different removal stages. Some have already been deported, some are in the removal stage, others are returnees. And so what really the goal is, the final culmination point of this mural installation, it will occur in Washington, D.C., when we have a delegation of deported veteran advocates, nearing at the end of Biden's first 100 days, go out there, install the final mural, and hand an executive order to Biden as well. And so, this is not the time for elected officials to waver support from immigrant communities that brought them to power this past election. And so through public art, we're really trying to hold Biden and the Harris administration and Congress accountable to that. But at the end of the day, ultimately, at the end of the day, this project is about healing. We heard voices from folks that have been separated. We heard from Claudia, who was able to reunite with her father, but it was too late. And at the end of the day, we want this mural to provide a space for people to reclaim their stories. And so we're honoring, veteran service, but we're also honoring the stories of childhood arrivals, undocumented youth, and we're validating their pain and experiences brought by family separation. Just really quick, I want to send a huge shout out to all the organizers on the ground that have already started building those bridges so we could make some mural installations coming March. And so they're really the bridge builders here, and they're the ones strengthening this movement. So Nick Bass out in New Mexico, they're doing great work. We have organizers in Bakersfield and so many more sprouting up, especially special thanks to Veterans for Peace as well. That's really helping us on the ground.
Great. Thank you very much, Jenny, Liz.